That's Northern Ireland band Microlip. Their accent. That's a special request for Tina Mullen, who writes to me and says, "Hope you're toasty and warm on this Baltic day. Could you please play a wee request for me, Microlip, Man of Steel? And if you have their new single, Dance Beneath the Feet, I would appreciate it. Well, if you send me Dance Beneath the Feet, I'll play that because they're an excellent band, Microlip." Also, another request from a person who lives south of the border, calls himself Misha Aaron. Please play Luck Be a Lady Tonight for Brian Cowan, who bet the farm in a high-stakes poker game and is hopeful that the outcome will be, well, acceptable. Good morning. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme is 08459 555 678 if you have any concerns about your position or indeed the weather or indeed your life in general. There's no reason at all why you can't talk to us. A bank of telephonists are fast asleep in the next room. Hello?
Yes.
No, they're ready, waiting for your call. 08459, after all, your call is important to us. 08459 555 678. Who have we got today? Janet was it today? Good morning, Janet. Good morning, Sean. Are we all fine today? What did you do this weekend? You couldn't have been able to play golf.
No, it was a very...
What did you do with your time?
It was a very, very long weekend.
Did you have to sit and talk to members of your family?
I came into Radio Foyle and I
know, I saw you here. I couldn't believe it.
Did
You were
some
in.
work in here.
Work?
Yes.
Never use that word.
I worked in here.
What do you mean work?
I worked.
What did you do? What did you do in here that you call work? What did you do? Paint the walls? What did you do? You sat and listened to records,
No, I
didn't
didn't. I made CDs.
Well, that's work.
Yeah, it's work.
For sale in the market in Cookstown? I had a terrible weekend. I was travelling the entire weekend. I was up in Enniskillen. And by the way, what a great night myself and Sean Donnelly had. I know you're very pleased to hear that. We're up in Enniskillen on Friday night, but Saturday was a different matter. You know, of course, that I was due to make my debut as a DJ on Saturday night in McHugh's Bar. And people waited with bated breath, but I couldn't make it. I had to turn back. I'm doing it on the 18th of December on Saturday week, but I mean, that doesn't concern you. But I left Derry-Stoke-Londonderry at 5 o'clock on Saturday. And I went to Dungiven. Everything was fine. The roads are great. A little bit slippery, but nothing you can't
People really
handle.
want to hear this?
No, I think it's important.
All right.
I want to make a point here.
What's the point?
The point is that there's something very badly wrong with the system here in Northern Ireland. I went to Dungiven. Everything seemed okay. I said, I should be in Belfast about 7:30. I thought, maybe 7. Be a bit slower than that. So then when I got through to Dungiven and started to climb up the Glenshane Pass, I suddenly discovered that there was there didn't seem to be any kind of gritting or sanding at all. The whole mountain was just like a block of ice. And cars were slithering about and lorries were jackknifing. So I couldn't go any further. And then they sent a snowplow up and there was no snow, but no sign of a gritter. So I managed to get the car turned around. I couldn't go any further. And it took me 3.5 hours to get off the mountain. And if it had snowed, I would have died.
Well, it's quite difficult for the drivers of the gritter vehicles when
When what? Come on.
groups of, I don't know what to call them.
Oh, this is young people in Derry-Stoke-Londonderry. No.
Them, you know
people in
mean?
Derry-Stoke-Londonderry over the weekend, young people were stoning the gritters and the sanders. Yeah. But Sean, somebody's going to have to tell these young people that what they're doing is wrong.
I know.
Anyway.
See?
But I mean, why didn't they sand them? I mean, for God's sake, the Glenshane Pass at 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. What do you expect?
They don't do it deliberately.
Well, why didn't they do it? They never done it at all, as far as I can see. There were so many angry people out there slithering about, and children in some of the cars. I mean, I had to be so careful that I had to hold my brandy bottle in one hand when I was driving. Do you know what I mean? It was interfered with me, and then I missed the DUP conference. Did you see that? The usual depository of schoolboy humour. Schoolboy humour. Yes. There was jokes about Katrina Ryan and Gerry Adams, which is all very well. And now, I have no problem slagging the Shinners, but when you hear Sammy Wilson saying that people in Northern Ireland have children that they want educated, you kind of think if you're going to ever go to the education minister, it's probably a good idea to get your grammar right. We have people out there that wants educated. Anyway, I'm finished now. I'm not going to give out about these things. I'm just saying that I was very unhappy at the weekend. Yeah. I could have been killed. You might never have seen me again. Yeah, right. Nothing wrong with that. So what did you do? You just come in here and played records. Oh, yeah, a gentleman writes to me. Sorry. What? You're waking up, will you?
No, I'm annoyed. I'm angry.
I can tell that there's a whole kind of repressed ball of anger in there. Get it out. Come on.
Well, will you not laugh?
I won't laugh. You're on the radio.
No, you laugh at me.
I don't laugh at you. Come on, get it out. I can tell you're not yourself. You've
know.
got anger in there. And it's not about the gritter.
No.
And it's not about, well, your life. It's not about the fact you couldn't play golf. For something else.
There is.
Come on.
There is.
Spit it out. Come on.
And I've been sort of...
You can talk to me about
Since
it.
Thursday. I haven't seen you really since Thursday.
That's right, because I've been driving in the snow since.
Although I did see you on Saturday in here, but you weren't very pleasant to me.
I was unpleasant, actually.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was sitting in the office on my own, and you walked in, and you know what you said to me?
What?
What are you doing here?
Well, that's,
You know what I mean?
it's a
What
friendly
are
greeting.
you doing here?
Because you're always out playing golf.
I know.
I've never seen you in there on a Saturday afternoon. That's okay, but you shouldn't be so sensitive. I'm just express
But it's
surprise
not
at your
that.
presence. What is
It's
it
not
then?
that.
Come on,
Something else.
come on. Tell it to me. You can tell me anything, you know that. I'm a trained
don't be
social
laughing.
worker. I'm not going to laugh.
I was at the doctor's.
Sorry. What did the doctor say?
He's putting me off something.
Putting you off
He
something?
put me off something.
Really? Let me try and guess what that might be. Now, okay, you have a certain condition, haven't you? He put you up a drink.
No.
I thought it was something serious there. But what do you... Okay, hold on a second. But you're not an indulger. You like a drink, all right, but, so does everybody. So it's not drink.
No.
It's-
Actually, he sat down and he...
He wants you to stop walking?
No, he went through every...
Golf?
No.
Not golf.
No, not golf.
I say you may as well kill yourself if
I
that's
know.
the case. Off... I can't think of anything else you could do.
Actually, on the drink thing.
On the drink front, yeah.
We were talking, and they said, "Many units would you consume a week?" And he said, "Be honest with me." And we went down, we went over every night. I said, "Don't go out on a Monday night or Tuesday night." And Wednesday. And we worked out that works out about 26 max units. He said, "I want it down to 20."
Well,
But that wasn't the bad news. That wasn't. There was
no, you can handle that. 3 units a day, you can handle that.
There was worse to come.
Double up at the weekend, take a Monday, Tuesday night off. Double up at the weekend. Yeah, get 6 units
Worse
down
to
your
come,
neck.
Janet.
I can't think what. Janet is joining in here. Janet, what else do you think? Sex.
No,
So you don't do that anyway.
no.
What could it be? I can't think of anything else that you do. I just threw that in as a red herring. I can't think. No. Some kind of food.
Yes.
Ah. Oh, you eat everything. That could be anything. What are you not allowed to eat? Potatoes.
No.
What? Sweet stuff? Sweet stuff?
It put me off sweets.
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 That's going to be a big blow for you.
I know.
You
I haven't
love
had a sweet
sweets.
since Thursday.
I know. All sweets.
Sweets. It's
What
just,
did they specify? Even polo mints?
it's
Mint Imperials?
he said that the sugar counters on my body
sugar
are
count.
high. And he says, look, he says, what? He says, it's not alcohol. It's not. He says, I said, well, I have a very sweet tooth. He said, that's it. He says, so I said, I don't want you to eat sweets for 3 weeks.
But
and
you
then come
realise
back.
if you hadn't have told him, he wouldn't have known.
I know, but I
You
had
see,
to tell
you
him.
just blurted it out. That's like saying, no, I'm all right. Doctor accepted, I have a finger missing. I say, oh, well, that's why you have only 9 fingers then. No, you shouldn't have said anything to him.
I'm
Because
not
you know what
allowed
he would have done? He
sweets.
would have tried to figure out what it was. And he would have had to go and find out what it was. And it mightn't have been sweet at all. Mightn't have been sweets. It might have been something else. You volunteered to give up sweets.
And there's a box of Maltesers in the fridge, 3/4 full.
Our fridge here?
No, my fridge in the house, and I keep looking at it.
Janet, go up to his house and get that immediately. We don't want that going to waste. I love Maltesers.
Right, so do I.
I would eat Maltesers to a band playing.
And if
Why don't you bring them
we've got
down tomorrow?
Bars of chocolate. No, do you
Bring
know
all
those wee
yours.
lion bars and wee bars of chocolate for the children and that I eat?
Bring them all down here. Will you bring them all down? Bring them all down
But,
tomorrow.
no, I'm keeping them
Go
for
on.
3 weeks.
Oh, you're keeping it for 3
3
weeks?
weeks. He told
Only
me.
3 weeks?
Well, I said, well, I can't have a sweet for 3 weeks. Or a biscuit.
Here's a gentleman who was listening to the Gerry Kelly show on Saturday afternoon and made an astounding discovery. He said, I didn't realise that Daniel O'Donnell, I didn't realise that Daniel O'Donnell actually spoke the way Sean does. He says, I heard him on Gerry Kelly's show and couldn't believe how good Sean's version was. See, people don't realise. They think that you're making this up. But Daniel does really talk like that. Daniel sounds as if the nights just fly by in his house. What a cruel thing to say. And Michelle says, here's something people might want to watch out for. The other night we went into Belfast. My husband drove. We wanted to turn right off the Upper Springfield Road onto the Mona bypass. When there was a gap in the traffic coming from the right, my husband moved into the middle of the dual carriageway. He waited for the traffic now coming from our left to pass. One car came flying round the bend in the fast lane and flashed several times at us. There was, once upon a time, when I was young, inexperienced and trusting, that I would have taken that to mean, go on ahead, I'll let you out in front of me. But there was something about this car I didn't like. It didn't seem to be slowing down, and my husband, thinking the same as I did, refused to pull out. As it passed in front of us, we observed it was full of young fellas. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if that car didn't spend all evening heading up and down the Mona bypass to the Glen Road roundabout, turning left into the Falls Road, then left up the White Rock Road, and left again into the Springfield Road, and back onto the Mona bypass again, encouraging someone in front to pull out. Have we become bitter and twisted in our old age? Well, you see, that's the case again. Nobody's telling those young people that what they're doing is wrong. See, if more people... Do you know what I urge the people of Northern Ireland? Do you know you see the hoodies standing drinking and shooting up, at the corners, and attacking old people, and, trying to get the pension books out of people's handbags, and to run around on quads. Nobody's taking the trouble to tell these young people that what they're doing is wrong. I mean, why doesn't somebody just say, lads, what you're doing is wrong? Why doesn't it simply do that? I mean, the trouble will be over right away. Why don't you do that?
There's a call.
Do you know what I did? Do you know what happened to me yesterday? Do you know how lovely it was yesterday in the snow and everything? Down where I live, down beside the water. It was beautiful.
Yes.
And I went out for a walk. And I went down this little back road. And I was the only person walking. Yeah. The only person. Uh-huh. And it was great. You just felt as if you were a virgin. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And you just walked along. And then I came across a kind of a subsidiary kind of B road where there was a bit of traffic. And I was walking along, you see. And then I decided to cross the road. And there was a guy coming about 20, maybe 50 yards away, crawling along.
Walking or crawling?
No, crawling along.
On all fours?
No, somebody had hit him with an iron bar. No, he was driving.
Oh, right.
Crawling along,
right,
because he was being very careful with the car. So I decided to go across the road. And then I said, no, I better come back. Because he might get nervous about seeing me and he wouldn't want to brake, because you might slip or slide or something. And he was like 50 yards away. So I decided I ran straight back in the pad and he screamed at me out the way. Screamed at me. And he was really, really upset.
I would say
a lot of people...
I would say that you're not telling the truth there. I would say you were a lot closer, he was a lot closer to you than this 50 yards.
Yeah, well, it was actually 3 feet.
You see, I would say.
Hello, good morning. But people are so, people get so het up when the weather is bad like this. Why don't they just do what I do? Just go out and enjoy themselves. Somebody better tell these people that what they're doing is wrong. Hello, good morning. Ken's got a mark on this. Look,
see, Ken's got a new thing in there too.
What is that?
There's a whole lot of new things happening.
There's new things here.
Yes.
Look, I went to reach for something and there's a thing there that wasn't there before. What is it?
I don't know.
He's put a new panel in. And he's got a big white mark on it. What is it?
I don't know.
I'm afraid to touch it. If I touch it, maybe it's an ejector seat. Is it? Is it wired? Is it live? It says A and B on it. What is it?
I don't know.
What is it?
Just press the.
No, I'm afraid to touch
phone
it.
Line.
Hello?
Hello?
There's somebody there.
Yeah.
Hello?
Why did you... Nobody told me about that. I just looked down and the thing was different. I'm sorry. You had to listen to that.
Staff now, isn't it?
They're changing stuff here and not telling me. They used to change stuff here and train me in it, but now they don't tell me they've changed it. Anyway, sorry, what can we do for you today?
We had cause to go to Gerry yesterday to take my daughter up to the university.
Yes.
And due to the bad weather, we didn't take the car. We went in the train.
Uh-huh.
And as you're quite aware, the bad weather.
That's the greatest train in the world.
Taxi. It is a good train.
I know, the only thing is the wrong tracks. And you hear it going...
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But I would like to take the opportunity. They told us ours would have to wait hours on the taxi and one thing and another because there were no taxis running. But I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the 2 boys out of J-Cabs.
J-Cabs?
In Derry.
Yes.
Because they were so helpful. One took us right up to the university and waved another boy, Eddie, coming down. We ended up when he was named Eddie. And he took us back right down to the station at the proper time. Through the bad weather, there was no problem to him whatsoever.
What time is that at, roughly?
We arrived there at 12 o'clock.
Maybe lunchtime?
Lunchtime.
Well, see, it was very bad then.
It was really, really bad.
The snow was just blinding you, wasn't it? Really,
That's
it was
right.
flying. Yeah.
And those boys there went out of their way to get us and me and the wife and the daughter up to the university. And I just
Well, that's great. Well,
just
thank
want
you.
to say thank you.
No, it's great that you've taken the trouble to thank me. JCabs.
JCAB.
Well, they'll appreciate that because a lot of people do good. People here tend to be very friendly, in Derry, Stoke, London, Derry, and people will notice that when they start to visit here more in the next year
That
or
was
so.
the main reason why my daughter went to McGee. She had opportunities to go to any other university, but it was the friendliness and the companionship that took her there.
Yeah, actually, here in Derry, Stoke, London, Derry, people treat the students like human beings, unlike other places which I am familiar with and which I know. Anyway, listen, thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to do it.
No, thank
Enjoying
you.
your show. And look after Sean. Please don't be so hard on him.
Thank you.
He's not well.
No.
I'm worried about him.
China.
Yeah, that's and now a high sugar count. No sweets.
Low cholesterol.
Oh,
He's okay except for his angina and diabetes.
What about? Excuse me. What about your complaint, Mr. Anderson? Do you want to talk about that? Do you?
I think we'll leave that one. Okay, thank you very much, sir.
There's another call.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
There's a
Bye.
call. So you're not going to talk about your wee problem you had the weekend?
I had a little problem at the weekend, but it's not a problem that I would like to discuss.
No.
It's something that never happened to me before, and it was something so earth-changing and so earth-shattering that I don't think I can even bring myself to think about it.
But yet you
I sold you
shared
through.
with me. You told me all about it. I
know,
didn't
but
want to hear about it either. Keep telling me about it.
Too much
Many
information.
times you went
What
to the
is this
toilet.
thing? Ken has been. What's he doing here? What's
It's
he doing?
2 now this time.
What's he doing here? I'm just looking. This is all different.
Go to Green.
Hello, Green.
Good
Hello?
morning.
Oh, yes, hello, Harry. Sorry for calling you Green. I just kind of sabotaged the entire desk. I'm only finding you by accident. Hello,
well,
how are you?
Thank you for finding me. I'm not too good actually, and I need your help.
Okay.
I was robbed 4 weeks ago. My car was broken into at the place that I was parked. And everything was taken out of the car and the windows were destroyed. And I mean, the police think that I may have been stalked by the person or the people who robbed me. It has really knocked my confidence, Gerry. I was born and reared in the area, and I would go there every day to walk. And when I'm not able to walk, I would sit in the car. I have a disability, so I'm ringing because that plus this awful weather, I can't get out, and I really, really need something like a treadmill or something. And now I've gone online, and there's no way I can afford those.
Yeah.
And I want to know, the way sometimes people would buy things like that for family or friends, and then they're never used.
Yeah, they throw them up in the attic.
They're thrown in the attic or something like that,
Garage or something. Yeah.
or something that would be second hand but in really good condition that I could buy if it wasn't too far away from me.
Yeah, and this is not just an affectation of yours. I mean, I would imagine, reading between the lines, that if you don't exercise, it's bad for you.
If I don't exercise, I won't be able to move.
Exactly, yeah.
And so it is kind of, I won't let them beat me in the sense that I've gone back to the place and I've walked a few times, but I'm nervous.
What is that area, if you don't mind mentioning?
It's the area of the Navan Fort in Armagh.
Really?
And it's just, there have been so many robberies out there in the last maybe 6 months. It's just incredible. And they've obviously watched me and seen me walking with a stick and realised that I'm not going to be a threat to them,
Did you have lots and bits of pieces? Excuse
Gerry,
me.
I had a bag with everything in it,
In
the
the
whole
car.
life. And
Yeah.
everything was taken, and it wasn't the money. The money can be replaced and the cards were cancelled, but door locks all had to be changed, which is great because they got my name and address because I had a thing, it's to do with the drug that I take, with name and address and everything in it in the bag. So they know who I am, And they're cards. They're absolute cards. And I mean, you go through many things in your life, but I suppose everybody says this, you never think it's going to happen to you because in some way you feel immune to it all, and then it happens and you kind of have to deal with it.
I know. And you wouldn't think something like that would happen in a kind of a beautiful historical area like Navan Fort, would you?
Do you know something? When I was born out there, doors, as you know yourself, doors were left open. People walked in and out of homes, and I mean there are people in the area who still leave their doors open because they won't be beaten down by them,
Yeah.
And it's incredible how there's kind of no, there's no humanity anymore apparently in these people. You know, why are they doing this? What is this about? What kind of a world are we living in?
We were joking earlier on that somebody needs to tell these young people that what they're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
You know, when I hear people on the radio saying, oh, these people must be told that what they're doing is wrong, for God's sake. Anyway, listen, we'll have to get you some kind of treadmill. That's what you would ideal. That would be ideal for you.
Because even in the short term, you know, in this kind of weather, I could at least be still moving.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even to go out on the roads now at the moment, it's kind of really dangerous. And I know from last year that it was awful now because you're kind of housebound.
Yeah.
So I need to be moving, otherwise I will just get stuck, you know.
I imagine you would even settle for borrowing one for a little while.
I would be very happy with that if there was somebody that had one that could lend it to me. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm also happy to, as long as it's not too expensive, because I just don't have a budget at the moment for buying anything like that.
Hold on a minute, we've just been offered something. What was that? Do you know what a cross trainer is?
A cross trainer. Is that one of those things that you
walk on?
Sorry?
A cross trainer, not a treadmill.
It's a treadmill, but it's not electric. It's manual. You just walk.
No,
on
we're talking about two different things. We're talking about someone has offered the lady a cross trainer, but you're talking about something else.
Me?
Yeah,
a treadmill.
a treadmill. Yeah. So we've got a cross trainer. Here, listen, we'll give you the numbers. There's two things you've been offered already.
That's fantastic.
So you hang on there, look, and we'll give you the numbers, and you can chat away to the people and see what
Gerry,
a cross trainer.
thank you so
this
much.
one's
You've
free.
really helped me.
Free.
Thanks
pardon?
very much.
It's free.
Free?
This person wants to give it to you, Karen. Yes.
Oh, well, for God's
my
sake.
goodness gracious.
All right then.
Oh,
Okay.
that is so generous.
Will you chat away? Look, and anyone else who wants to offer you anything, give us a ring, and we'll give you the list of the numbers. Okay?
Oh, brilliant! Thanks a million.
Let us know how you get on later, will you?
You see, the world is not all bad. There's good people out there, of course there
Absolutely
are.
not. Okay, enough.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
All the best. Bye now.
Bye. Time for a little Christmas song.
Come, they told me, pa-ram-pam-pam-pam. A newborn king to see, pa-ram-pam-pam-pam. Our finest gifts we bring, pa-ram-pam-pam-pam. To lay before the king, pa-ram-pam-pam-pam. Ram-pam-pam-pam, ram-pam-pam-pam. And so, to honor him, pa-ram-pam-pam-pam. When we come, little baby, pa-ram-pam-pam-pam. I am a poor boy too, pa-ram-pam-pam-pam. Oh, hi, oh, I have no gift to bring, pa-ram-pam-pam-pam. That's fit to give the king, pa-ram-pam-pam-pam. Ram-pam-pam-pam, ram-pam-pam-pam. Oh, la, la, la. And so
This is Mr. O'Mundy's #1 singers Christmas songs from Nairobi, Little Drummer Boy. Back after the news.
on my drum. Hey, yeah. Mary nodded, pa-ram-pam-pam-pam. Hey, the ox and lamb kept time, pa-ram-pam-pam-pam. I played my drum for him, pa-ram-pam-pam-pam. I played my best for him, pa-ram-pam-pam-pam, ram-pam-pam-pam, ram-pam-pam. And then he smiled at me, pa-ram-pam-pam-pam.
On 92 to 95 FM,
and 1341 medium wave.
this is BBC Radio Ulster.
BBC News at 11 o'clock with Keith Burnside. More than 90 schools are closed, many of them in counties down in Armagh because of the wintry weather. Driving conditions are also difficult after a weekend of record-breaking low temperatures. The IMF has said it believes the pluck of the Irish will help the Republic recover from its financial crisis. Ajay Chopra, the IMF's chief negotiator in Dublin, says he's confident the bailout package will work. One Dublin opposition politician said the bailout would leave Ireland banjaxed, but Mr Chopra said it was a very good deal for Ireland in the circumstances. An Iranian nuclear scientist is reported to have been killed and another injured in separate bomb attacks in Tehran. At least 2 other Iranian nuclear scientists have been killed in recent years. With more details, here's Marcus George.
The state news agency IRNA says the 2 scientists were targeted in different locations. The report said men on motorcycles drove alongside as the scientists made their way to work and attached bombs to the windows of their cars. Dr Majid Shahriari, who was killed instantly, was described as a member of the nuclear engineering faculty at Shahid Beheshti University in Tehran. The other scientist was named as Dr Feridun Abbasi, a nuclear physicist. Whilst there's no confirmation that the 2 academics are involved in nuclear activities, Iranian authorities have accused Israel of the attacks to undermine its nuclear program.
Leaked cables from the US Embassy have revealed a number of Arab countries, such as Saudi Arabia, urged America to launch an attack against Iran over its nuclear program. The messages, around 250,000 of them, are being published on the WikiLeaks website. They include allegations of inappropriate behaviour by a member of the royal family. The Arctic weather has proved the undoing of thieves who ripped out a boiler from a house at Lee in Lancashire. Police simply followed a trail of water which leaked out of the machine and froze on the pavement. 2 men were arrested at a nearby house. And with the latest on the weather front, here's Barra Best.
It's a cold start with a widespread frost, and the weather warning is in force for icy roads, especially in parts of Antrim, Down and Armagh. Scattered sleet or snow showers expected, mainly for eastern and northern areas, but almost anywhere could get one. Otherwise, it's mainly dry and bright, but cold with chilly easterly winds. Temperatures of 2 or 3 degrees will feel a little bit colder.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news. Extra care is still required as driving conditions remain extremely difficult in many areas this morning, particularly on high ground. With reports of treacherous conditions on the A24 between Newcastle and Clough. The Crossgar Road into Downpatrick is tailed back as far as the turnoff near Ballynahinch, and Irish Street in Downpatrick has been closed because of ice. Also, road conditions are pretty bad on the M1 Dublin to Belfast Road, as well as around Omeath and Carlingford. Public transport has also been affected by icy conditions. Ulster bus services between Downpatrick and Newry are cancelled until further notice. That's bus services that travel via Castlewellan, Kilcoo, Rathfiland and Hilltown. And Metro bus service 1D is unable to reach Mosley Glade. Also, Blackrock in Newton Abbey will not be served by Metro 1F until further notice. And the weather's also disrupting flights. Airports that remain closed include Edinburgh, Newcastle and the Isle of Man, with flights to and from these airports cancelled for the time being. At the George Best Belfast City Airport, this morning's Flybe flight from Leeds Bradford is now expected at 12:05. The next Flybe flight from Birmingham is delayed to 1 o'clock, and the 12:10 arrival from Glasgow is now due at 1. Anne Jordan reporting. Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback today, winter's here and the chaos has started. Over 90 schools across Northern Ireland have closed their doors and the gritters have been out as early morning motorists battle the treacherous road conditions. So why does a dusting of snow lead to such gridlock in this part of the world? Also today, are criminals trying to dodge the sex offenders register by changing their names? And if they are, can anything be done about it? And what's the best way for businesses to protect themselves and their employees against so-called tiger kidnappings? Join me, Mark Carruthers, and the rest of the Talkback team with your thoughts from 12.
Thank you, Mark. That's Talk Back coming up at 12 o'clock. A gentleman writes to me, "Oh Lord, deliver us," he says. "I'm 94 years old and unable to walk from birth. I was left alone in a room last week when the new BBC comedy LOL popped up on the screen. I cried for help, but alas, due to NHS cuts, no help arrived. After 10 minutes, I could take no more. In desperation, I leaped from my bed and ran down the street yelling, I'm walking here. Can't you see I'm walking here? Next year, I plan to run on the Belfast Marathon, and it's all thanks to the BBC. Thank you.
Need to straighten your posture and suck in your gut. You need to pull back your shoulders and tighten your butt. Yeah, come Comanche, 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 come out. If you want to have cities, you've got to build roads. You need to find some new feathers and buy some new clothes. Just get rid of the antlers and lighten your load. Yeah, come Comanche, 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 come out. Yeah, if you want to have cities, you've got to build roads. You need to straighten your posture and suck in your gut. You need to pull back your shoulders and tighten your butt. Yeah, come Comanche, 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 come out. Oh, if you want to have cities. Yeah, if you want to have cities. Now, if you want to have cities, you've got to build roads.
It's been many long years since they found her alone in the night. Next to a pile of old Christmas cards, neatly stacked 4 inches high. She had passed away lonely. It seems she had started to write. A vow farewell letter to the people she loathed and despised. As the Christmas hour strikes, the ghost of old Mary delights in making your heart jump with fright. Don't stray from the line. Don't stray from the line. December was the day the old lady died. by Mary Cunningham. She'll tear at your heart. She'll tear at your heart. If you wake up in darkness, I beg you, turn on the light. For Mary is patiently waiting, she rules the night. Nothing will save you. Don't be alone Christmas Day. For Mary's watching from shadows. She wants to play. As the Christmas hour strikes, ghost of old Mary delights, making your heart jump with fright. Don't stray from the light. Don't stray from the light.
That's Andy Ruck, A-N-D-Y-R-U-C-K. Andy Ruck's a friend of this programme. Used to be a daily communicant on this programme, actually, some years back. We haven't heard much from him, probably because he's away making great records like that. That's a song called The Christmas Coast. Sorry, it's called Mary Cunningham, The Christmas Ghost. If you're interested in that, he's got a couple of websites, www.andyruck.com or else www.christmasghost.co.uk. What a great record that is. Some texts here. A gentleman says, sad morning here at Ballytrim, which I assume is a place. I came home last night and found one of my ducks missing. Her partner is forlorn and can't give us any clues where she went, as indeed ducks can't. No signs of a struggle or how Foxy or anyone could have got into the compound. One sad Campbell Drake, 4 months okayed, needs a new partner. And then he sends me an email as well. He said, I sent you a text a short time ago. Don't know how I'll break my news to the granddaughter who has reared them since day-old ducklings. Now the Drake is alone, obviously looking around for his partner. I'm not quite sure if Ken, because that's who it is, wants us to look out for the duck or indeed is looking for a replacement. And he says, on a lighter note, have you heard the Three Priests' latest album, particularly the Drummer Boy track featuring Shane MacGowan? It's brilliant. See if you have access to it and give it a play for us all. Well, I don't have it, but I heard it on the radio. I think it's brilliant too. There's a lot of complaints that the Three Priests shouldn't have recorded with Shane MacGowan, and I say, why not? He's brilliant. Gerry, can you please give my mum, Iris Allen from Armagh, a shout? She is 52. A shout! And she's 52 and best birthday wishes from her 6 kids and husband, Ivor. Many thanks and keep up the crack, lad.
Could you please play You Raise Me Up? It's a special request for Lily Brown. Lily's not well. She lives in Killilay.
The Elevator
and
Song.
And it's from her son, Gordon.
The Elevator Song.
Could you play that?
No, I hate that song. Hi, Gerry and Sean. Please say congratulations to June and Stanley, who got married on Saturday. And even when Stanley drove to the church in a Ford tractor, he still didn't arrive on time. Great day was had by all, from Alicia and Claudia, who finally made it up the motorway to get to Belfast. See,
Noelle's on 2 for you, and she's on 1, and she's slightly afraid of you.
There's no reason to be afraid of me. Women. There's no reason for women to be afraid of me unless I'm actually there. Gerry, you played a track on Friday, Pebbles at the Window. Who sang it and where can I get it? That's a young lady, 16 years old, called Morgan McIntyre. And she's really, really good. Going to play her songs again. Maybe get her to come in here, do a wee bit of a session in the studio sometime. What year is this, Gerry? Do you know what that's about? I was doing a little gig on Friday and I was, giving away my books. And I was signing them all. And I suddenly realised at the end of the night that I'd signed every one of them 2011. The wrong year. Oh. You see, I'm so busy. Hi, Gerry. Please play something for Mal and the boys down here in Sydney, where the sun shines daily. Not like here, where the terrain is covered in the devil's dandruff. The devil's dandruff.
Are you going to play You Raise Me Up?
No!
It's for Lily.
It doesn't matter. We can't. There's no excuse for ever playing Raise Me Up, especially by Brian Kennedy. Have you seen the new Gillian Simmons advert? I was near sick over the TV. Have you seen that?
No.
I haven't seen it either. I wonder what it is. Also, how good is Pop Goes Northern Ireland programme on BBC Two? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's brilliant. You don't like it, but I'm telling you, it's brilliant.
I just said it's just the same as...
But it's not the same as anything else. It's far more exciting than anything.
I told you the reason why I don't like it.
Why?
I told you.
I can't remember. Refresh my memory.
Because all the information that goes along in a band along the bottom of the screen, and you can't read and look at the picture at the same time.
Many people can.
Yeah, but this person can't, and I can't see the point of it.
Just because you're handicapped.
Well, just
no reason why you should knock the
I'm
program.
sure there's lots of people like me who want to see the pictures.
Believe me, there are not lots of people like you. Believe me when I tell you, I've never met anyone like you. I think Pop Goes Northern Ireland is brilliant, and it's made by the Hole in the Wall gang. And
it's
I don't
the same as Reeling in the Years.
Reeling in the Years was a copy of a BBC programme. Everything is a copy of everything else.
Yes.
There's no reason at all why you should say a programme is no good because it's like another one. So everything in RTE is copied from BBC, and they pretend it's not the case. What about getting a programme called The Apprentice and get a car salesman called Bill Cullen? Oh, that's a completely new idea.
Or the news, the 9 o'clock news.
It's a great programme. Yes. You should watch it every night. The fella sits behind the desk and tells you things. Gerry and Sean, I'm enjoying a day off. Could you play something from Big Tom? You see, he's pushing it, isn't he? Going to see the Pogues in Dublin on the 8th. Last tour for a while. I would encourage everyone to go and support a truly great band of the century. I went to see the Pogues. The Pogues have always escaped me. I went to see the Pogues years ago. I was dragged to it by a young lady. And they were playing somewhere in England, right? And this is a long, long time ago. And she said, this band is great. And I was dragged in, and I listened to them. And I have to say, it was the worst band I've ever heard in my entire life. It was unbelievably horrible. And I've no reason to change my mind since.
I borrowed your...
What?
I borrowed your Johnny McAvoy CD on Friday because I had a special request for a song.
What did you notice about it?
He has only one CD and a double CD.
That's right.
Where's the other CD?
I threw it away.
Where is it?
Because I knew you would steal it eventually. Some announcement about the reduced number of buses on the roads would be useful. Someone should be on the phone to City Bus for info. More public service broadcasting, please. Less WikiLeaks drivel. I don't want to know what the ambassador of Iran said about the ambassador of Turkey. I want to know if I can get a bus to work. That's the important thing. This is the value of local radio.
Yes.
Was Gerry's piddling problem? Are you telling people I had a piddling problem?
No, Janet says no.
Well, where did he get that idea about a piddling? And somebody ring up and ask what my problem was the weekend? You told him about I wasn't able to pee? Is that what you told somebody then?
No, I did not.
It's not true anyway.
I just told We said you had the runs.
That's not true.
You had.
Well, but that's not the reason I didn't show up from the Bacuse on Saturday night.
No, it's not to do with that.
The cancellations, notice that it was due to bad weather. Can you get to the bottom of it, Sean? I tried very hard to get to Belfast on Saturday night. I was turned back by the weather.
But you told Wendy on Friday morning you had a bit of trouble.
Well, I had a bit of trouble.
Yeah,
but I mean, a person can have two things wrong with them. Just because I have a bit of trouble doesn't mean to say I lie down and die. I can function even though I've got the runs. I can still get. I did a gig on Friday night and was going to do another one on Saturday, and everything was running out of me.
I know.
Not a word about it. Do you know why? Because I'm a soldier, Sean.
Oh, gee. You're the worst soldier. That's the end. Oh.
Do you know
what about Noel?
Do you know I was thinking about the weather? What?
Noel.
I know Noel, yeah. I was
12 minutes, Janet said.
I was thinking about the weather. I was looking out this morning at the carpet of white along the place where I live. And do you know what my thought turned to? My thoughts turned to the late Tommy Kelly. Do you remember what Tommy used to say about the snow? He loves to see the snow coming because then his lawn looks like everyone else's. Do you remember? Just look at my lawn. It's so lovely and white. And when the snow goes away, it's like a jungle. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Who's this, I wonder?
It's Noel.
Yes, Noel, how are you?
From Armagh.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
I believe you're a little afraid of me.
I don't know what to say, really.
What's wrong with you?
I'm just nervous a bit.
Don't be silly. So I'm just an ordinary person sometimes.
So am I, but still.
Not all the time, but sometimes.
You're not ordinary, Gerry.
You've nothing to fear from me.
I think you never know, of course, do you?
You've nothing to fear from me unless I'm actually there.
Pardon?
You've nothing to fear from me unless I'm actually there.
Oh, physically here. Yes, I understand that.
Where did you say you're from again?
Armagh.
Okay.
Outside Armagh, really.
That's all right. Let's not be fussy.
Yes, that's right.
Right. What can we do for you today, if anything?
Oh, yes, you can do a lot for me. I was in the hotel in Armagh on Saturday night.
What do you call it? City Hotel?
The Armagh City Hotel.
It's a nice hotel now. I stayed there before.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
But they were very, very busy.
Yes.
They had a big function on.
Uh-huh.
And quite a few people go roaming around. But I brought my husband there. I brought him to Armagh after being at the North Pass that day on Saturday.
Yes.
And I thought it was a big day in Armagh, Edwardian Day. And I thought I'd bring my husband into Armagh to see the lights that had been switched on.
Yes.
He has dementia.
Yes.
And we were in his car and drove round, let him see the sights. Oh, dear. And then went to the Armagh City Hotel. I thought I'd get him a little hot toddy.
Yes, yes.
Went in, sat down, enjoyed the evening, and made a lot of friends. And our car was sitting in the handicap car park right in front of the door.
Yes, I know that car park, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I know the hotel, yeah.
Oh, have you?
I've stayed there, yes.
Oh, have you?
Yes.
Oh, right. Apparently it's very nice to stay in.
I didn't pay, but I stayed there.
Yes, I'm sure you got it free. I would know.
No, they're very nice people, actually. It's a lovely
Actually,
hotel.
they are, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Mr. McAnall and Andrew Nesbitt were the...
That's the City Hotel in Armagh. There's also a City Hotel in Derry, which is also a very nice place.
Is it, indeed?
Oh, yes.
I've never been much to Derry, really.
Oh, you should come up. Now's the time to come here.
Is it really?
Now's the time. Do you know why?
Why?
Because
there's something big on there, isn't there, at the moment?
Well, the film festival's just finished. No, there's nothing. Well, there's a different atmosphere.
I heard my son saying.
There's a different atmosphere up here.
Is there?
Yes, it's.
What's the difference?
The difference is that I don't want to go on about this too much. Ever since Derry's been declared City of Culture, and it's been a great shot in the arm for everyone.
I would know, yes.
Everybody felt as if that nobody cared about here. And
you're out in the sticks, in other words.
Yeah, and they're absolutely right, because nothing ever used to happen.
Really?
But now
and you're living there and nothing was happening.
No, but see, I am regarded as being a kind of a weirdo here.
Oh, some weirdo, I think.
No, but see, what happened was that people now have a more optimistic spring to their step, and this is a great time to come here. Do you know what you should do?
What?
You mentioned the City Hotel. There's a place called the City Hotel here. I'm not plugging this by any means, but the reason I'm telling you this is because there's a wonderful site, and just in front of that hotel, they're building the Peace Bridge.
Right.
And it's not finished yet.
Yes.
But it's a wonderful site. when it's even though it's not finished. You'll never see it like that again.
Really?
Did you ever see a huge bridge just halfway across a river?
Right.
It's one, and there's lovely big white things sticking out of it. It's a great time to be here and visit.
I
this
wouldn't
place.
need to go today, Gerry, because I'd probably not see the bridge.
No, go before Christmas.
Really?
Go do a bit of do a bit of Christmas shopping up here. Yeah.
Yes,
You
that's
should do it.
interesting.
I would advise anyone to do it. The hotels are very, very reasonable, and you'll get a good deal, plenty crack. And
Well, that's what I love, yes.
you say your husband suffers from dementia.
Yes, he does, actually.
Well, how long?
He was
how
a
long?
male nurse for 33 years, and in 1999 he developed E. coli. I
Yeah.
picked it up. I was in Scotland on holiday,
Yes.
and had to rush home on the 20th of August 1999.
Yeah.
He was taken in. They thought he had took a heart attack.
Yeah.
They found him in his car.
Yes.
Can you hear me all right?
Oh, I can. Yeah. Go
Right.
ahead.
Anyhow, he ended up in Craigavon Area Hospital,
Yes.
and I got home in the middle of the night in the boat, and the poor soul, they told me he had pneumonia,
Yes.
and they were moving him into a side ward in the morning. This was the middle of the night. But I spoke to him, and he said, "Oh, you're home," you see.
Uh-huh.
So, anyway, I went and lay down for a while to morning, and then come down to the ward to see him, and they moved him into the side ward because they said there's no hope for him.
Oh, dear.
He had another x-ray that he needed to have because there was another seat of infection.
Yes.
So, while I was there anyhow, they'd moved him in. I had asked for a side ward, for he was a nurse for 33 years. I thought he was entitled to something. And then the doctor told me, he said, no, he said, your husband is not maybe going to make it. We would be moving him in anyway. I knew what that meant, of course, being a nurse myself.
Yes.
So in the afternoon, when he had moved in, he took a turn.
Yeah.
And I roared, get the doctor, get the doctor.
Yeah.
And the doctor came, and they worked with him. And then the next thing, intensive care staff came up, and they worked on him for a while. And then they took bed and all down to the intensive care. And the rest was he was totally wired up to machines.
Yeah.
And he was saved by it.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's still alive today, Gerry.
But how has he been since that?
He was great. He started to walk again. He had to learn really to walk again.
Yeah.
He doesn't even remember being there, but he had to learn to walk again.
Yeah.
In rehabilitation.
And did the dementia, did that develop later on?
Yes, actually, yes. It affected the organizational part of the brain.
Yes.
And it left him that I could see the reason, he didn't know to move an obstacle in front of a cupboard to get into the cupboard, things like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, he learned to walk again, was brilliant, could have a conversation, and, was come round quite a bit over the years. But last year he started being a bit confused.
Yeah.
So the deterioration had set in, so they realised then he had the start of Alzheimer's.
No, he hasn't had much luck, has he?
No, he hasn't, really.
But I'll tell you what, by the sounds of it, he's lucky to have you.
Sometimes he wouldn't think that.
All right then.
But because you have an awful lot of caring to do now.
Yeah.
He's deteriorated the last 6 months quite a lot.
Well
An
done.
awful.
Anyway, yeah.
But I had him out seeing the lights, and I had gone to an art class with Dermot Kavanagh, if you know Dermot.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, of course he's great.
Magnificent.
Yeah.
So I was doing the weekend with him.
What a nice person. Were you learning to paint with
Yes,
him?
I love it. Yes.
Yeah, he still does classes, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He was taking 3-day classes, so he rang me. I know him well. I'm not too far from him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did a wee film with him one time. And he
Did you?
Yeah, he brought me up to Donegal, and he said...
Yes, he was there all last summer.
He said, I was the only one ever painted with my hand in my pocket. Anyway...
You weren't too interested, were you?
Was there anything you wanted us to do there? I forget when we started
we were
to chat
in
there.
the hotel. I took him round to get him a hot toddy.
Oh, yes.
And we met a few friends that he had nursed with over the years, and it was really a lovely evening, Saturday evening. So we stayed rather late. However, my son went out to switch on the car, to heat the car, for there's a gentleman that I know that lives in our area, and he couldn't get a taxi. We were so busy. And I said, where do you live, Kevin? He said, Kevin Lear, you call me, his cancer. Security was on the door.
And
we
they
were
just-
right beside the door. Unless we'd have drove in. We
Just
couldn't have been any
disappeared.
closer.
Somebody just disappeared. The car just
The
disappeared.
car went, and lucky it's on CCTV, got the police, etc., but there's no word of the car as yet.
My God. What kind of
And
car
then
was
it
it?
was a painting I had done, Gerry, in 2006.
Oh.
And I was going to get it framed, and that's why I had it in the car.
What kind of a car is it then?
It's only a little Ford we got for Daddy, a Ford 8.
Okay.
Ford 1.6. I'm not good up in, I'm not up in cars.
Well, the police will be
But
on
I
the
was
job.
using it because of the snow to get over to Dermot's house.
Well, the police will be on the job, won't they?
They are, yes, they are on it. But the lady has come out, the lady constable quite last night, to get a statement, and I don't. She didn't give me much hope. Well, I don't know.
Just goes to show you, you should never leave your keys in your car no matter what.
True, and yet there was 2 security men.
Yeah, but they might have looked away, maybe...
Well, they were very busy. There was a lot of people over the limits, really.
I wouldn't
And they're
blame-
waiting
yeah.
on taxis and, the usual carry on.
It just goes to show you, need to be... Well, I hope you get it back, and I hope you'll have better luck in the future.
Well, I'm worried about it because you'll not believe it, but when I was coming from Dermot's house, I stopped in the Moy, County Tyrone, you know it well.
The Moy?
Yes, the Moy,
Yes.
the Moy Fair, you know about that. Anyway, and got £20 worth of meat. So they're going to have a good dinner, or they had a good dinner, I don't know.
At least the thieves will be fed.
They'll be fed, yes.
All right, love. Listen, if we hear anything about that, give us a ring at 08459
Yes.
555 678. And do you know what I'm going to tell you?
What?
You're like a breath of fresh air.
Really?
Yes, you are, yeah.
Somebody said that to me in the hotel
No,
the
you
other
sound
night.
you sound so cheerful and nice.
Oh,
All right,
dear,
love.
I don't know.
you
I'm
look-
trying to manage anyway and keep him going and keep things normal as I can.
You look
Because
after
we want him
yourself.
to live a normal life as long as we can.
Okay. All
Right?
right, then. You
Right,
look a-
Gerry?
Cheerio, love.
Nice speaking to you.
Lovely speaking to you.
Love
Bye.
your programme.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Close but no cigar. I nearly won her heart. I got so close, but then my whole world fell apart. I thought we were in love. We came so far. Now she's with someone else and not me. Close but no cigar. Last night I kissed her lips just like before, but it was in her eyes. She wanted something more. I never said the words I love you. Almost had it all, but I dropped the ball and she walked right out the door. Close but no cigar. I nearly won her heart. I got so close, but then my whole world fell apart. I thought that we were in love. We came so far. Now she's with someone else, and I think you're close with no cigar. Rock on, egg. Yeah. Oh, cry me a river. I have to live without what might have been. He made a display. Now she's with him. I'll bet he tells her that he loves her. Well, heaven knows I came this close, but I won't have that chance again. Close but no cigar. I nearly won her heart. I got so close, but then my whole world fell apart. I thought we were in love. We came so far. Now she's with someone else, and I feel close with no cigar. Now she's with someone else, and I feel close with no cigar.
That's a band called The Lost Dogs. That's Elvis Presley pastiche. That's a song called Close But No Cigar from an album called The Green Room Serenade Part 1. That was out about, 13 years ago. My, how time flies. Is there someone on the line here?
Yes.
He left them this morning for Gerry. Oh, I don't think Gerry got them, but I'll ask him now. All shows in progress. Oh, they're at reception now then for Gerry.
Hello? Yes, hello? Hello, is there someone on the line there? Hello? Hello? Right.
Hello?
Right.
Yes, hello?
Hello. No, I thought it was somebody else that you were talking to there. I nearly forget what I was going to ask you. I'm going to ask you a favour, okay?
Yes, go ahead.
I switched on the continental programmes here in my TV. My aerials twigged them. And what came on, and it was great, Lauren and Hardy.
Yes.
They're speaking in German.
Speaking in German, yeah.
You know the big knobs in the BBC. Can
Yes.
you not get them to put on a few films of Lauren and Hardy?
Well, speaking German?
Not at all. English.
Well, you see, you're talking to the wrong man, you see, because I've
not,
never...
You're working for the BBC.
Yes.
Or Ulster Television, whatever it is. And you're bound to have a wee bit of push.
Well, I might have a little bit of pull, but as regards push, I can't say. No, one of the things that you have to understand, and this is who you're dealing with, I've never liked Laurel and Hardy.
Oh, they're great. They were on yesterday. I'm still laughing.
I could never see what the point was of Laurel and Hardy. I never liked Charlie Chaplin either. I used to like...
Well, I like Charlie Chaplin too.
I like Buster Keaton. I always thought that... I never laughed at Laurel and Hardy or Charlie Chaplin because I always thought they were trying too hard.
I'm not being cheeky, but I was watching Father Ted last night, and I thought you were the drunk on it. You were the same voice.
No, I can't watch Father Ted either. I don't think it's funny either. You see, that you've just mentioned two things that I think aren't funny. Father Ted and Laurel and Hardy. And I added Charlie Chaplin. But you see, it's all an individual taste. But you see, one of the great joys of travelling is when you switch on TV.
I did travel years ago.
Did you?
Yes.
What did you do?
I was a carpenter on board ship.
Were you?
On cruise liners.
Oh, you must have been everywhere then, were you?
I was in countries where it's far too warm and I couldn't stick it.
What place would you like to go back to?
Well, Vancouver is the nicest place on the planet Earth.
I've never been there. I always wanted to go there.
It's beautiful.
Uh-huh. Well, the only place the only place I really, really, really loved I loved Sydney.
Where? Sydney?
Yeah.
That's the worst place.
Why?
That would roast you.
But it all depends when you go.
Well, I don't know now. I was there in and out, watching cruise liners, and I don't know what, I forget now, but I couldn't stick the heat.
Yeah, well, you see, January and February, you're in serious trouble there. But, if you go March, April, you're fine. Maybe kind of November. November's a good time to go to Sydney. But I prefer the heat. I like the heat, as long as you know. And the thing about heat, and as opposed to cold, the thing about heat is you can always go in out of it. The thing about cold is you can't escape it.
You can light a fire, but...
That's right. But you see, that's too much trouble. You see, once you step out of the sun, you're okay. But once you step out of the side of the cold, you're still freezing.
I got a wee joke there from Australia. I could tell you, it's a cleaner you don't have to worry about.
Go ahead.
No, this woman has a child, but it's late on in life. No way women these women are 50 and 60.
Yes.
And the doctor phoned up, how's the child doing? She says, I'll find out. I can't. No, could you hang on? I can't find it.
Yes.
Her mind was going a wee bit,
Yes.
Your mind goes when you get older.
Is that it?
You're absent-minded. Sure you are.
Was that the joke?
That was a joke, yeah.
Was that it?
I can't find it.
I can't find it? All right, that's a good joke. Yeah, thanks. Okay, well, thank you very much.
No, here, I'll tell you a good one. Put this with the BBC. This fella went to the doctor, and he got examined, and he's leaving the surgery, and the doctor said to him, you be careful now, John. You're 92. And then he seen him later, 3 months later. And the doctor said to him, John, I seen you, and you're still going about with a young girl and that, and I told you be careful. I'm only doing what you said, doctor. You told me to get a hot mama and be careful. The doctor says, I told you that you had a heart murmur and be careful.
Well, that's great. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Happy Christmas.
Well, could you get any promise there in Lauren and Hardy?
I'll see what I can do. I'll talk to the people upstairs and see if we can get Laurel Harley put on for you.
For Christmas, to cheer us up with all this money.
I agree with him. I back that.
Do you like Laurel Hardy?
I endorse that. I love
Lauren and Hardy.
Same here.
He's the best show out.
Yes.
Stan Laurel spent a bit of time in a hospital in Belfast. I remember.
Well, I've got the book. I've got the big thick book all about Lauren Hardy, and he ended up in Musgrave Park Hospital.
That's right.
And he was ill.
But what was it called then? What was it called then?
I'm not sure now. But
It wasn't. No, this was through me.
But
It said in the book, the big thick book. It said that he stayed in Musgrave and Clark Hospital.
Well,
and I went. They must have made a mistake because it must have been Musgrave Park Hospital. And then I discovered that there was a Musgrave in Clark, and there also a Musgraves Park.
Well, Musgrave Park Hospital, he was ill, and the doctor lifted his sheet up, and he found out he was eating sweets, and he wasn't allowed to eat sweets, so he must have been a diabetic.
Well, I know someone like that, not too far away. There you are. You say little
But I'll give you
diabetic.
peace anyhow. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. There's a request for a little drummer boy, and maybe we should call it Little Diabetic Boy.
You stop that.
Little diabetic
Listen, there's a call
boy,
on one.
Got a heavy load.
If anyone had heard you at the weekend.
I'm going to turn this
Little
knob up.
runner boy, little runner boy, little runner boy.
Has a heavy load. Hello, good morning.
Gerry, good morning to you.
Hello.
David Halliday here.
Yes, David.
Just to let you know that Judy, the white van man, left the tapes, the videos, and the newspaper cuttings at the reception there at the reception in Londonderry.
Did you? When did he leave them?
I beg your pardon?
When did he leave them?
This morning.
Oh, this morning. I haven't been out there.
No, I realise that.
Oh, they're out there now then?
They're down at your reception in Londonderry.
Fantastic. Oh, that's all the wee bits and pieces and all that. Oh, thank you. I'll have a great time going through all those when I retire, which will be maybe next
call
week.
myself the old duck or no dinner man.
Oh, listen, did you leave? No,
oh, Gerry, while I'm at it, there's one videotape of Rosie Miles from Sand Mills.
Yes.
In Herdman's factory.
Oh my God.
Now I know Rosie has passed away,
That's
but
right, yeah.
also she has children, and I think that they live in Londonderry.
I think they do in the Waterside area, yeah.
I'm not sure, but I'd love them to have that. If they contact you, I'm sure you'd give it to them with pleasure.
I certainly will. So that's in the wee package outside?
No, it's in a big package.
Big package.
It's
So
a big,
there's a video.
shopping bag, Gerry.
There's a video of Rosaline Miles. Is that marked? Is it?
I put a wee note in it. Yes.
Excellent. So any relatives of Rosaline Miles, late of Sand Mills, who live in Derry, Londonderry, give us a shout, and you can have that video with pleasure.
I know you'll do that.
Listen, thank you very much indeed.
Gerry, happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas to you.
And enjoy.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Thank you. Oh, how nice is that? That's great. Oh, thank you, Sean. Oh, there it is. Thank you. I'll have a good rummage through that later on. Gerry says, Brendan Lanahan, seeing as you're in the mood for Christmas songs, could you play Silent Night by Mr. O'Mundy's #1 singers from Nairobi? I certainly will.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm and all is bright round yon virgin mama and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night and holy night, and shepherds quake at the sight. Helele, glorious streams from heaven afar. High, heavenly hosts just sing Alleluia. Christ the Savior is born. Usiku wa manane in silent night, oh holy night, and hold his calm, say hold his bright, around the young virgin, mama and child, oh holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace, yeah, la 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 la. Usiku wa manane, usiku wa manane, usiku wa manane in heavenly peace. Usiku wa manane, usiku wa manane, yeah, la 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 la. Usiku wa manane in heavenly peace.
Well, that's about the only Christmas album that I think it's worth bothering about. That's Mr. Omondi's #1 singers, Christmas songs from Nairobi. That was out a couple of years ago to aid concern and aid link to fund children's educational projects in Kenya, and I'm sure it's still extant. I must find out. That's that track in particular is Sara Mataro and the Maasai Chanters. You don't get them too often in Belfast. That's Silent Night, Sara Mataro and the Maasai Chanters, Mr. Omondi's, Omondis. You could check the Concern website to see if that's available if you want that. Mr. Omondi's #1 singers. I'll check it out myself. Okay, a country music concert in aid of Newry Hospice, which was to happen tonight in Lissummon Community Centre, has been postponed because of the weather, of course. A lot of tickets were sold, so if you bought one for that concert tonight in Lissummon, Lassomon, sorry, Lissummon, that's it, Lissummon Community Centre. If you bought one, hold on to your ticket whilst the show is rescheduled. Also, St. Mary's Primary School in Rathfriland will be closing at lunchtime, at midday. So if you've got a small child marooned in St. Mary's Primary School in Rathfriland, they'll be looking home. We're looking home at 12. Looking home at 12.
Would you talk to Marie?
I will, after I finish what I'm doing. Okay. There's a man who's left me because of Nolan. He said, I've been listening to your show for a long time, but no more. I just can't listen to that daily dose of Nolan and his crap. So good luck. You've ruined your own show. You can thank... There's a man who can't tolerate Nolan. Him coming up here next week. Chinese guy goes for job interview at factory. Owner offers him the job. Okay, sir, you're in charge of supplies. A few hours later, boss is wandering around looking for the man. Nobody's seen him anywhere. Just about to give up, and the man jumps out of a cupboard behind him and goes, supplies! That's all right, isn't it?
I think you rushed it a wee bit at the end there, just...
Supplies! Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm very good today.
I'm starting to tell jokes. I'm worried about myself. Anyway, go ahead. What can we do for you?
Right. While in a large Belfast shopping store at the weekend,
yes,
my friend and I were looking at some Christmas decorations.
Yes.
And you know they have for sale at only £6 mental wreaths.
What?
Mental wreaths.
What is that?
Well, I think they mean mantle.
Mental wreaths?
Yes.
I thought I'd seen everything the other day.
Well, it's about to tip you over the edge when you see that.
Mental
wreaths? Busy Saturday.
Yeah, I just discovered the other day that some of the hoodies in Belfast are putting tinsel on their bricks.
Well, it all adds to the atmosphere, I suppose.
Where would you get the mental wreaths then?
Well, if you're lucky, you might get one in Primark. Oh. And my friend and I, of course, were laughing, and the shop assistant said, well, we just hadn't time to change the packaging. I think we were the only ones that noticed.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, you see, it's that's one of the things that we are guilty of here in Northern Ireland, lack of attention to detail.
Yes, well, there you go now.
I think it all boils down to the expression, oh, sure, it'll do right, like.
I don't think anybody noticed. They were just grabbing them off the shelves at £6. Who's going to worry?
No.
They're mental anyway.
But sure, I mean, we're as guilty here in Derry, Stoke Londonderry, but we're learning. Derry, I mentioned earlier on, the Derry City of Culture, UK City of Culture 2013, and there's a little magazine. Not a little magazine, but a very well-produced magazine. It's the City of Culture magazine. It was out this month. And I'm not slagging anybody. I'm just saying that we have as much to learn as anybody else, and we're learning very fast. And there was a pianist featured on front of it, and apparently he specialised in Chopin. So they spelled Chopin Chopan.
Oh, well, I mean, you get used to it when you can buy Muslims.
Yeah, but then you only make
$2.99 a yard.
Muslims?
Yes.
$2.99 a yard, yes. Well, see, you learn. That's the kind of mistake you only make once.
It brightens your day, Gerry.
Okay, love, thank you.
Okay, all the best. Bye.
Bye. Kathy is listening in Castle Rock. Have you heard Paddy Nash's new single song? That's Paddy Nash and the Happy Enchiladas. It's great. No, I haven't heard it. Maybe he would send it in to me. Good morning, Wagner Hare. That song you played there called The Christmas Ghost was fab, and it should be number one this Christmas, isn't it? It really is good. It's called Mary Cunningham. Sorry, can you hear me talking here?
But Janet's whispering in the corner. Yes. She
But
wants
don't
you
be
to
answering
spell.
her.
No, she wants you to spell something. Spell something out.
Spell what?
What? She wants you to spell out the Christmas number one, the name of it.
What Christmas number one?
I don't know.
Oh, Mr. O'Mundy's.
Oh, Mr. O'Mundy.
Yeah, okay. It's not O'Mundy's wine, you know. It's Mr. O'Mundy's. Mr. as in Mr. OMONDI apostrophe S. OMONDI apostrophe S. Number one singers. That's what it's called. Christmas songs from Nairobi. Have you got that?
Yeah.
It's all right. Well, it'd be nice if you said, yeah, we've got that.
No, well, you could have asked Janet.
But Janet won't speak. She just goes... Mary Cunningham, The Christmas Ghost. That's the song we're talking about. That should
I
be
would love
number
some
one.
fried spuds. No, in a pan.
I'm sure you would.
You know, spuds were boiled the day before.
Uh-huh.
And then
Yes.
then fried.
Plenty butter.
Crispy. Oh,
My brother and his wife were at your gig on Friday night. You said you kept running out at breaks. He thought you were smoking. Now we know what it was. Yeah, I kept running, boy. I was just one step ahead of the posse on Friday night. Sean Donnelly and I are appearing in the Sean Hollywood Centre in Newry this Thursday night, so I'm sure you'll be along, Sean, to give us the support that we so much deserve.
No.
I would recommend Derry Stoke Londonderry at Christmas. I heard Rubber Gub mention Tommy Kelly. I've asked many times for Tommy singing Spanish Eyes. We have that, haven't we?
Mm-hmm. Sitting there in front of you.
But I can't play it.
There it is there, look.
I know, but I can't play it. I've got it here.
There it is there.
I can't play
You already
it.
give that to Ken, and Ken was to put it onto his CDs for
Ken
you.
won't do anything for
Ken's
me.
got it sorted out up the stairs in the desk beside you. He's got it sorted out in your desk.
Well, will you ask him? You know he doesn't like me. Will you ask him to put this on CD and then we can play it tomorrow? Will you ask him?
All right.
He won't do anything for me. If I told him, he would burn it. Just to annoy me. Musgrave and Clark Clinic was the private wing of the Royal Victoria Hospital. That's it. That's where Stan Laurel was. And he said it was in Musgrave Park Hospital. It was Musgrave and Clark Clinic. Gerry, could you please play some Barnbrack?
Veronica, I know.
I can...
It's Janet. Janet's whispering again. She says Veronica's waiting.
I can feel the life draining from you, Gerry. You love jokes, don't you?
I would say they were the worst two jokes ever I've ever heard.
But see, when people tell jokes, I mean, they're really putting themselves out there, because if the person doesn't laugh, it's very bad. And I never know when to laugh. I mean, Frank Carson, you see, whenever you sit and talking to Frank, it's a nightmare, because you never know when to laugh, and I get a sore head. Pelly had the same...
With Frank, you're laughing all the time.
I know, but sometimes you don't know if he's
Frank
serious or not.
When
is he serious?
Frank's
I mean, he might say something, you start laughing, he goes, "What's wrong with you?"
He's a very funny man. He just
He's very funny, but you know, sometimes he doesn't be funny, and then you keep laughing anyway. Pelly, it's like
not
Jimmy
because
Cricket.
you switch off.
No matter what he says, you always have to laugh. Sure, I told you that thing about Roy. What do you call him? What do you call him? Used to do talk. What do you call that? Roy Walker.
Yeah.
You don't know when he's serious or not. I met him in the Europa Hotel one time. And I said, "What are you doing, Roy?" He said, "I'm very busy. Doing a lot of carpet work. Doing cruises." I said, "Cruises? Yeah, cruises are very nice. Yeah, I was just up the Amazon." I said, "What?" I was just up the Amazon on a cruise. I felt sorry for those people. I said, "The people on the cruise? No, the people in the water." He meant, no, the little native boys in the
I
water.
don't get that. I don't get that. What about Veronica?
Pelly had the same problem as you. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. A lot of men suffer from it. Now, do you hear what that is? You know what that is, don't you? That's the old V word. We don't do V word in this programme. Please play Van Morrison singing Irish Hard to Beat. I would advise everyone to go to Derry Stoke Londonderry. For a few years now, it has been great. People very, very friendly. But that man who went up on the train with his daughter has lost her. She will meet a Derry man and live happily up here ever after, and he'll have to come up and keep visiting her. That's true. Absolutely true. Sean. Hello, Sean. There's one for you. Will I read it out?
Yeah.
Nice people and great show, but this text will be the 5th day I've tried to get what I thought was a nice little story about Pat Woods mentioned on the show. I don't want to be a nuisance, but if you cannot squeeze it in, I will just let it drop. Kind regards to all. Sean McCabe. Is there a man telling you a story that you're not telling me?
About Pat Woods. Once Pat Woods played.
Pat Woods played? Pat Woods is a singer, isn't he?
Yes.
She?
He.
I would...
What about Veronica?
For God's sake, can't you see this show's over? Veronica, good morning. You see, there's nobody there.
Here.
Veronica.
Yes.
I'm sorry for keeping you.
You're all right. No,
It's too-
I just want to say thank you. You've already made the wee announcement for me about the country music concert in the Lissummon Community Centre tonight. It was all in aid of Newry Hospice. And unfortunately, with the inclement weather conditions, we have to postpone it. It will be rescheduled, and we want with people just to hold on to their tickets.
Okay, so you're going to put it on again at some other time?
It will be put on again. I can't give a date at the minute. We just have to wait and see how this weather goes. But I do appreciate you making the announcement for me there.
Not at all.
It's just dreadful conditions up here at the moment, you know.
Oh, you could be bothered with it.
So we had a full house, actually. The tickets, it was a complete sellout.
Mm-hmm.
And about 360 people. But if they hold on to their tickets, it certainly will be rescheduled, and we will let them know as soon as we can.
Okay, then. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gerry.
Thank you. Bye.
God bless. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. We've only a couple of minutes left. Why not play another little track from Mr. O'Mondy's #1 singers? This is called Walking in the Air. Goodbye. Back tomorrow. This is really some fantastic album, you know. You should get this for Christmas.
We're floating in the moonlit sky. The people far below are sleeping rest be found. I'm holding on.
Beats Michael Ball anyway.
I'm fighting.
What do you call that wee fella that sang he was wee and now he's big?
Eh?
Used to sing that. What do you
Who?
call the wee fella that was wee and used to be big? What do you call the wee fella?
Sing what? Oh, the wee boy.
What? Who?
I'll read. No,
I'll read, yeah.
Al.
I won't take my coat off, not stopping. Alan Jones.
Almond.
Almond. Yes.